this beach, we have these huge parking lots, but in order to keep people social distancing, they have closed them off. The Parks Department closed them off so that no cars can park here. That's to keep the number of people on this beach down to a manageable amount. And as you can see, everybody's like 6 feet apart, more or less. But there's not so many people down here. Now my bus is in the shade, so it's time to go do something for dinner. So, sushi sounds like a good thing. That's what I'm going to get, is that chicken teriyaki rice bowl, and I add miso soup to the rice so it's moist. I thought I'd walk up the street, kind of show you what's going on this street. There's a sushi restaurant, then there's this, I don't know what it would be called, noodle kind of restaurant. There's an insurance company, they'll still be there. There is a nails and fantastic hair and stuff. I really wonder whether those businesses are going to be allowed to run. There's my sushi right there. This particular spot is for rent, but I've just shown you four. There's actually right beside it, there's another restaurant beside the sushi. So there's like 5 or 6 restaurants in this block on this side of the street. There's more on the other side of the street. And of course this is a full block long, etc. And then there's more in the next block. There's going to be very few of these businesses going to be able to survive this virus crisis. So what I do is pop out my miso soup. Get my chicken out of that bag. This is actually my preferred place to eat, believe it or not. I've got a table back there, but I have to clean it off to eat. And when I'm sitting here, I can prop up the phone to shoot my video. I don't know why I did this, because I'm not going to eat this with chopsticks. I am going to jump in the back and get myself, this is the hardest part, the worst thing about my bus. I'm 6'1", and getting my legs out around the doghouse is actually a pain in the butt. A spoon to eat my chicken. There's one thing I'm enjoying about buying these particular meals is these plastic containers. They're good for me to put my dinner in when I make a stir fry or something like that. They're the right size for a dinner. I'm trying to open this without spilling the miso. And oh, I forgot. They generally pack this so thick that the miso soup doesn't pour down onto the, there it is. Oh, there we go. I have to do it slowly because it won't pour into the rice that quickly. But that, I love miso soup, but it's way better when I get a whole bowl of rice that tastes like miso soup. It's way better than just having the soup by itself. So here we go, chicken and or teriyaki chicken with some rice. I'll put this up and adjust the camera so you get some of my face and some of my meal. It's not really all that special. I mean, it's just a cheap takeout place, but price is right, and I get a nice warm meal without having to cook it. Now, what I was saying about the stores here is that I'm worried about, I mean, the word wouldn't be worried. I'm really confident that social distancing is going to be required, at least in Canada, probably in the United States as well, and most of the developed countries will stick to that, because that's one way we can mitigate the damage of this virus. So we'll be all advised to stay 6 feet apart. Restaurants will have some rule, like maybe they can have 4 people at a table, no more, and then that table has to be 6 feet away. Or there's going to be some kind of plastic, like a shower curtain kind of thing, usually heavier than that, or plexiglass between them and the next table. So when you go to a restaurant and you're paying big bucks for a meal, and there's, you're basically inside a shower curtain or inside a plexiglass chamber, you're not going to be going to that restaurant very much. And if they don't, because there's no ambiance, right, you're not going to go to and pay like a whole bunch of money for a meal, and if you are separated by such junk, right? So restaurants will have to sort of reorganize how they serve meals, and then after spending all that money, they're going to invite people to the restaurant, and a lot of people won't go because we're conditioned already to be 6 feet apart, or at least to be worried about catching a virus that's in the air. So we wouldn't want to. A small number of us will be going to restaurants and sitting in them. So the takeout places will do okay. Same with bars and nightclubs. They're like 2 years before they can open. The reason I kind of showed you how many restaurants were in this block, and a hairdresser, I mean, they may not be able to be open either. So most of the storefronts in this particular block might not be able to open for 2 years or 18 months or something. Lots of people think we just go back to normal, but I mean, if suddenly they told that restaurant they could be open and he's got 50 seats in there, I don't know anybody that's going to go and hang out in his restaurant, because the population is worried about COVID-19. So a lot of businesses, like that, I talked to the owner of this restaurant beside him. His sort of minimum price for a meal is like $17. And he's got a beautiful environment inside that people would enjoy going to, and sells nice wines and stuff like that. First of all, a lot of money for restaurants, a lot of profit comes from selling the wines. Well, if people aren't sitting there, they're unlikely to buy the expensive wine to take home because they'll buy that at a liquor store or something like that. Anyway, I was talking to the owner of that store, and basically explaining to him that what I just said, that it's going to be very hard for him to ever open that business again, and kind of telling him I'm sorry, because he's got a restaurant like that he's invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in, and probably many years of effort, and now he's going to be trying to find some other solution, not only for his business, but anyway, I don't know where this is going. I'm just feeling sorry for these businesses in this area, and kind of worried that I won't be able to come out and get a nice meal like this as easily as I have been able to over the last bunch of years. So I'd like you guys to tell me what you think. How do you think all of this will end, or how do we get back to work? What kind of ideas do you have? I'm going to be eating dinner. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Oh, I didn't even mention the ants. I had a joke about the ants. They're certainly not social distancing. Anyway, have a great night, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow.